Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Good, let's continue where we dropped off last session. Yeah. Last session. This one here. Okay, so game engine init, game engine. Okay. Okay, why did it fail here? Init disable. Okay, because this is different. I see. Okay. STL type this. It's here because of STL type devs. Needs to be moved together with that. Okay. Okay. Let's replicate in generals. Let's see if that builds. Okay, let's take a look at this one here. It's a draft though. To make the code branchless and to remove the windsock dependency within it. Okay, that's good. Branchless I think also makes sense. There may be minimal performance improvement from this. Still need changing. Calling this function with null 3 shouldn't change MCSC, but it would. Null. Removing windsock. Removing the null tests. Likely does not affect performance much because the branch predictor should easily take care of this. Should work well for that one. Eliminating replacing the windsock call and that's good. Moving the high bit branch also makes sense because the branch predictor likely does not work well there. I would like to see a performance comparison when this works without logical mismatch, without any remaining logical mismatch. Say 50% chance. Okay, so we have built, it has succeeded, fantastic. Replicate in generals. Okay. Then we say rebased on latest main. CMake changes removed, replicated in generals. Okay, channels with one small conflict. Good, let's see what else we should look into now. What is this? Most of the stuff can be extracted into common preset for them to inherit from. But if we make them a single preset, then they would use the same binary directory, and that would make force having to delete the entire build directory, rebuild cache every time we want to switch. I think it's memory manager shenanigans. If you run without the memory manager, you see the behavior and the game will crash. Okay. To original group being destroyed and not overridden yet. Memory manager shenanigans. If you run without the memory manager, you see the behavior and the game will crash. Okay. Okay, so he says the game crashes. Okay, so he says if we sell a building without the memory manager, game memory, then the game will crash. Okay, let's test that. If that's true, then this certainly is a valuable fix. Let's see. RTS. Then we disable all this bullshit here. And game memory disable. Let's see. Should probably also go back to main branch. And Visual Studio crashed. Okay. On switching the branch. Fantastic. No, it's back. It restarted. How did that happen? Huh. Good, let's build. Yes. This. Yes, we try very much to keep it stable, always. What is this? Are invalid. Next, to write typical errors in textures. Okay, let's try to write something together. Typical errors in textures. The general texture sets have common issues shared among them. General textures have common issues shared among them. 1. 0-hour textures are notoriously downscaled. Generals does have around 500 higher resolution textures to work with. 2. Also, many snow texture sets in 0-hour are smaller than the summer. Many, let's say, winter texture sets than their summer texture counterparts. This is one of the most challenging. These small winter textures are one of the most challenging problems. To damage states are notoriously mismatching. Garrison states are notoriously mismatching. Window reflections are notoriously mismatching. Maybe we put it as down. Texture resolution. Damage states. Garrison states. Window reflections. Damage Damage. I say damage transitions. Damage states are notoriously mismatching. Rarely the damage transition from pristine to rubble is perfectly drawn. Rarely the damage transition from pristine to rubble, the texture damage transition from pristine to rubble is perfectly assembled. Very often small or big details are not correct. So, for example, a damage in D can disappear in E. Some of these are easy to fix by overlaying later by overlaying damage textures, but some of these are easy to fix, but others can require more work to repair. Rarely the texture damage transition from pristine to rubble is perfectly assembled across all variants. Often small or big details are not correct. For example, a damage in D can disappear in E. Some of these are easy to fix by overlaying damage textures, but others can require more work. Garrison states are notoriously mismatching. Garrison states are notoriously mismatching. I think we can say same about night lights. Garrison states are notoriously mismatching. It's called this window barricades. Window barricades used for visualizing garrisons. Garrisons. Window barricades used for visualizing occupation. I don't know. Visualizing infantry occupation are notoriously mismatching. Window barricades. Window barricades can change from one. Can be mispositioned from one damage stage to another, or be completely missing, or look completely different. Can we slightly misposition from one damage stage to another, or be completely missing, or look completely different? Fixing notoriously mismatching. This affects damage states, but also window barricades. Damage states, but also window barricades. Sometimes the window reflection strength are also very different. Reflections. Window reflections are part of the alpha channel in pristine and D textures. Reflection notoriously mismatching. This affects damage states, but also affects reflections near damages, and window barricades. Sometimes the reflection strength also sometimes the window reflection strengths are also very different. Window reflections are part of the alpha. Window reflections are located in the alpha channel of pristine and damaged textures. They should not be present in really damaged and rubble textures. Reflections often also do not perfectly match the shape of the of the window. Of the window texture. Night lights are notoriously mismatching. Everything's mismatching. Notoriously mismatching between damaged states. Notoriously mismatching between damage states. Damage and garrison states. Window reflections also very often draw over snow on windows. Nightlights are notoriously mismatching between damaged states. Nightlights are notoriously mismatching between damaged states. Between damage and garrison states. Very similar to how window reflections, well, notoriously mismatching between damaged and garrison states. They also nightlights mostly located on windows and doors. On windows, mostly located on windows, are notoriously mismatching between damage and garrison states. They tend to have visual discrepancies on window barricades and on window barricades. Tend to have visual discrepancies on window barricades. They also tend to have visual discrepancies on window barricades, and often draw over snow on windows. Over thick snow on windows. Rubble textures. Rubble textures have, let's say, a really damaged, and rubble textures often have holes in them. Created by black in the alpha channel. Often have damage holes in them created by black. This is okay, but what happens often is that walls and pieces are floating, that walls and roofs and other pieces, roofs and other pieces are floating in the air when there is no connection to nearby parts of the texture. This is only obvious when looking at damaged buildings up close. Texture resolution. Zero textures are notoriously downscaled. Generals does have around 500 high resolution textures to work with. Many winter texture sets in 0 are smaller than their summer texture counterparts. These small winter textures are one of the most challenging problems. Damage transitions. Damage transitions are notoriously mismatching. Notoriously across all weather variants. Rarely the texture damage transition from pristine to rubble is perfectly assembled. Often small or big details are not correct. For example, a damage in the damaged texture can disappear in the really damaged texture. Damaged, so underscore D, and the really damaged texture. Some of these are easy to fix by overlaying damage textures, but others can require more work to repair. Window barricades. Window barricades used for visualizing infantry occupation. So garrisoning infantry. Visualizing infantry occupation are notoriously mismatching. Window barricades can be slightly mispositioned from one damage stage to another, or be completely missing or look completely different. Window reflections are notoriously mismatching between damage and garrison. Is it stages or states? One damage state to another. This affects reflections near damages and window barricades. Sometimes the window reflection strength are also very different. Window reflections are located in the alpha channel of pristine and damaged textures. Sometimes they are present in really damaged E. Sometimes they are present in really damaged textures, which is not correct. Window reflections often also do not perfectly match the shape of the window textures. Window reflections also often draw over snow on windows. Night lights, mostly located on windows, are notoriously mismatching between damaged and garrison states. Damage holes in them created by black and the alpha channel. Obsolete alpha channel. Let's say missing missing or obsolete alpha channels. Many some textures have obsolete alpha channels that can be deleted. Other textures missing the alpha channel, which often can be reassembled from other textures in the set. It can be reassembled. Mismatching, say, mismatching what? Night lights, damage, texture resolution, visual discrepancies. Many textures have small, sometimes big visual discrepancies. I mean, this is already part of damage transitions. Actually, no. Visual discrepancies. Many textures have small and sometimes big visual discrepancies between damage, weather, or garrison states. Let's put this at the top. Sometimes textures fixing this requires to reassemble textures from other parts of the texture set. Requires reassembling. Fixing this requires reassembling textures from other parts of the texture set. Texture resolution mismatches. Which degrades quality on winter maps. Fixing small winter textures are one of the most challenging problems. Damage transition, mismatches, or let's say errors or mistakes. Texture resolution. Barricade mistakes, reflection mistakes, night light mistakes, rubble texture. Yeah, mistakes. Greatly damaged. B and Rubble R. Textures often have damage in damaged. Floating in air. Wrote one more section in 21, just from memory, without checking much. Okay, so do we want to merge this one? We can probably do that soon, but first let me test this change here. So he says it will crash now. Let's see. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, the game memory is much more forgiving because everything is pushed into these pools. Yeah, let's see. Let's see if this one is also forgiving. Okay, solo play. My favorite map. And we will sell a building. There we go. No crash. Okay. Let's put some breakpoints. Let's see. So it was this one here. Cell object. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we select this, and here we go in there. Yeah. Okay, and this group contains nothing. Yeah, we know this already. And group cell. This one still contains one member. Right, so, and this is... is 1 and new group is 0. Okay, so this one has this behavior. 1 is here and 0 is here. Good. Emptied, false, destroy group. Yeah, okay. Good, then let's kill this session. And we go to here. We take this and move it in here. And we build. We're using null memory, right? Let me confirm that. Game memory null. Yeah, it's here. Did we right, okay. Skirmish. Okay, let's sell the command center. Step in there. Yeah. All right. There we go. And we have this one is 0. And in group cell, this one still is 1. I cannot reproduce the behavior that he claims it has. I've tested this with null memory, null game memory, and the behavior is still the same. There's no crash on cell either. Can you please test again and verify that your initial observation is correct? If it is, I suggest we do a screen sharing, and you show me, because I cannot reproduce this issue at all. Yeah. Yeah, I cannot reproduce this issue. So as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing wrong. This changes nothing. Yeah. And so, like, if it fixes something, fair, but then what is it? Maybe it only affects like a specific kind of building, or 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 you have to build it first yourself, or something. I don't know what it is that you have to do here. I mean, what we can try is we can like normally build it. We can go here, open this map here. So we built something ourselves, like this power plant here. Yeah, and then we sell this, and then we see if the behavior is any different. This one is 0, and this one is still 1. There's no change here. Everything is good. No problem. No crash. Everything works. Now we can move this here back and test it again. Yeah, move it back down here. Test it one more time. Okay. We have a power plant and we sell it. No crash. Let's build a barracks. Sell it. No crash. I don't know what to say. I don't see a problem. Yeah. Okay, what do we have here? Because of the size, it will take some time to review this. Much respect. If you look at all lines, I trusted my script. I trusted the script. I trust the script for the most part. So he wants to look at all the files. Yeah, I think this will take several hours, and yeah, it's easier to trust the script. Yeah, hopefully there were no errors. Well, I mean, it compiles, right? It compiles. I didn't run the game though. Yeah, it should work. If it compiles, it should work. Yeah. Yeah. I'm fairly confident that this is good enough. Yeah. I'm more worried about a bit more worried about the other change where we removed the trailing line feeds from the debug strings, but that's also debug, so shouldn't affect the runtime, the release runtime. Mm-hmm. Um, I think this is not necessary. I think this is not necessary. Contributors are shown. Well, I mean they are shown here. Here we see the contributors. But here we don't see them, right? Because this is a fork, and in forks you don't see contributors. Oof. Yeah, but you see them in insights. Oof. You see them here. You have to click here. Yeah, I don't know why the contributors are not shown like in the landing page, but they are shown on Insights contributors. So there you can see them. So yeah. I think this is not necessary. Contributors are already shown in GitHub pages and always up to date, and they and our change logs will also contain contributor information. Okay. Okay. Based on latest main, CMake changes removed, replicated in generals with one small conflict. Yes, that will be a pain. You can try view the commits from the commits tab for smaller views. So note that the majority that the vast majority of code changes was done with scripts. So it should be correct for the most part, unless script did something wrong. Did not consider a certain aspect, a certain edge case. Otherwise, view it in Git, in a Git viewer on computer. I would like to hold off merging bigger changes until logging, until the RTS internal and logging changes have been merged to avoid conflicts. Bigger changes that contain logging or RTS debug, RTS internal things. We can still merge small things though. Okay, let me check if this here contains any logging or any logging or RTS debug, but it doesn't seem like so. So I think we can merge this. change does not touch RTS internal or logging. So it should be good to merge. Should be okay to merge. CPUs of the three. Draw hero icon. Okay. Good. What's the time? 1:24. Let me see this one here. I need some water. Okay, so removed adjusting it from the in-game UI. Okay, yeah. Post window draw. That's good. Okay, so this is currently in just in 0 hour. Do we already have it to do for replicating? Yeah, we do. Test system time with quick start. Okay, let's take a look. Allow the system time and game time font size to be set a size of 0 disabled some. Okay. Post window draw. System time, game time. also call this game time here. 8.8, okay. System time font size. Set system time font size. System time font size. Info. Replace with options input when applicable. Replace with options input. Set system time font size. Game time font size. Replace with options input. Right. This can be a to-do. 2x. Okay. This looks good. Relative to the left of the screen. Okay. Free custom UI resources. Is there no null check necessary for this? There's a null check here on this one. Let me see. Free display string. Does it have a null check in itself? Oh, it does. Okay. Well, in that case, this is fine. Post window draw. Okay. This way other texts will render over them if they overlap. I think this is unexpected if system time draws over everything, then this can too. If system time draws over everything, then this can too. Given Gen 2 already does it, players likely will expect that as well. I know I would. Yeah. Already does that since 15 years. Since 15 years. Players likely will expect that as well. This should too. I mean, it's a valid consideration that other things should draw over the game time, but what would that be? And why would something draw over the game time but not over the system clock, right? So I find that a bit questionable, that decision. I think it's fair to say that these timers at the top, that they just draw over everything. Then there's no like question about what draws over. They just always visible. You can always see it. Everything else is behind it. Draw game time. This setup is done every frame. This can be optimized by moving display string creations to the init function. Where is it? The init function is in-game UI. Init. There's an init. Let me see if this already creates other ones. Yeah, it already does other things here. Create control bar. New display string. Free. Yeah, free custom UI resources. Where's this called then? Oh, I don't have this change right now. What's this name? It's a branch name. Feature system. Feature system here. Okay, where's this called? Probably in shutdown. Destructor. Okay. I'm surprised it's in the destructor and not in reset. Resets. Oh, it is in reset as well. Resets. So it's called in reset and in the destructor. Why is the destructor not just calling reset then? To the init, to the constructor or init function. Creation and setup. Can create a pair. Can create a pair to some more things, some small things. Okay, what's the time? Yeah, 1:40. There's one more thing that I would like to do since I merged this one change there. Let me go to main branch. Pull rebase. Fetch and prune. delete this. And so there is this one fix debug help, this one. Let me rebase that on latest. GitHub. Debug help. This comment needs updating. Let me see. Temporarily, let's say front load the system debug help to prevent the driver from loading the game debug help DLL, the ancient prevent the driver potentially loading, front load the system debug DLL, debug help DLL to prevent the driver from potentially loading the ancient game, the old game debug help DLL. Front load the system debug help DLL to prevent the driver pressure. It's quite a bit of a long sentence. Unable to do so without crashing. Just had to load and use debug help on the game insert directory, but unable to do so without crashing, because the debug help that ships with the game is very old and does not handle that correctly. Updates, comments. Update comments. And then there's also a find and erase, I think. Find and erase? No, there's not. Huh. I thought there was. Debug help, loader. I thought that there's a find and erase. There is to do stl find and erase. There you go. STL find and erase. What is this? Okay, I don't know what's going on here. It seems to be stuck. Oof. Oof. Okay, let's see if that compiles. Good. All right, I think I will take a break here. And then I wish you a great day or night. Until next time, goodbye.